here with me or what? Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
Oh. Who's your emergency contact? Who should be notified in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. You know, when I first entered the feds, I knew I had to take care of myself. You know, I pretty much let the street go already because, because, you know, for me, there was no guarantee that I was going to come back home. You know, I was active as far as, you know, I'm out there in California by myself in Lompoc. I ain't got no homies over there. I'm a young kid out of Utah. And like I emphasized, you know, in my previous videos that a lot of these different gangs, a lot of prison gangs don't really recognize other people or try to give them their dues and their flowers just because they're not from the big city. You know, everybody, when I say I'm from Utah, people that's never been to Utah and has only heard about Utah, they always think that we're running around here with freaking sheets and horse wagons and stuff, which, you know, they keep mistaking us with the Amish or something like that. Like, I don't even understand how they got that stuff in their head, but they're like, oh, Utah, oh, Mormons, oh, you guys got gangs out there, this and that, whatever. You know, when I first entered the system, you know, the SIS was like, who are you? Oh, you're from what gang? TOP, Tango and Posse? Oh, they got gangs in Utah? Like, no, they got gangs in California. You're here now with real gang members out in California. But I know they were just trying to bait me because they see on my jacket that I got assault on a staff. So having that on my jacket, all these other freaking guards and COs, they feel like, you know, they need to fucking, you know, scare me or threaten me to try to get me to jump out there so they can beat my ass. But I already know they're trying to put me in a trick bag. So I just stand there and let them say whatever they say. But at the end of the day, they were like, you got any reason why you can't hit the yard? I'm like, nah, you can throw me out in the yard. But they didn't. They put me in the shoe for 30 days before they let me out. Because they're just trying to sweat me out, trying to see, I don't know, I don't understand their mentality and I don't give a damn. But when I hit the yard, I understand that I got to fend for myself. And that's not only to keep myself physically safe, but also financially. And I was fortunate enough that the short time that I was there, I was able to meet people that took a liking to me and put me on with their different hustles. You know, I shared the story with you when I met my close friend Rudy. We've been friends from the time we met till now. I still talk to him here and there. He calls me, you know, quite often. And we met when I was working in a dental lab when he came with, you know, 4 ounces of heroin. I've never seen heroin in my life. You know, the drugs I was familiar with when I was on the street out here was just weed, methamphetamine, because, you know, back in '96, Bill Clinton had dubbed Utah the capital of meth. On the news while I'm in the jail, you see hotels and motels with green smoke coming out of them because the meth lab blew up. And so those are the only type of drugs I was familiar with outside. Like I ran into a couple, you know, hits of acid or anything, but I didn't hustle out here. I wasn't a drug dealer out here. I went to prison for robberies, you know, and shootings. But, you know, in the penitentiary, you can't really rob nobody. I mean, you can, Like the DC dudes, they're known for that. But me, you know, I couldn't rob nobody. You know what I mean? And, you know, if you rob somebody and you're outnumbered and they don't fear you, you're gonna get butchered. If you steal from somebody, you're gonna get butchered. If you rob somebody, there's a little more respect level to that because you're coming taking something from somebody. But if you're a jailhouse thief, you're gonna get butchered. So I learned how to hustle in the penitentiary. You know, I got put on with Rudy and his people. And I had to connect with a couple other people. When I was in Lompoc, every month I was buying an ounce of weed from 3 different people. I bought some from the Crips, I bought some from the Mexican, and here and there is whoever else hit. So I hustle to support my habit, I hustle to put food in my locker, and I hustle to just live my life the way I wanted to live. And me being me, not being affiliated with a gang, you know, some of the Asians in the island were concerned that, oh, if they know you're hustling this and that, there's gonna be somebody who's gonna come and push up on you and try to take your shit and so on. But through my whole bid, I never had that issue. Because somehow, for some reason, not somehow for some reason, but the way I conducted myself, the people on the yard that was somebody took a liking to me. And when you're walking on the yard, they see who you're associating with. And I used to play handball with Topo every weekend. He's a black hand from Valencia. I'm not sure how me and him got cool like that, but we ended up being cool. And on a weekend, on a Friday evening or Saturday morning, me and him be out there going at it, playing handball. You know, and in the beginning when I was playing handball with him, I'm playing my hardest and I would be winning. And he would get his feelings, but he wouldn't take it out on me because, you know, he's got his security over. He started yelling at them and making them go run errands and whatnot. And this dude named Sparky was one of the person that was always with Topo as part of his security detail. He came, he was like, hey, Mason, man, it's not that serious. You know, I don't understand. I'm a competitive person. When I play basketball, when I play handball, when I play baseball, football, whatever I'm doing, if I'm playing cards, I'm trying to win, homie. I'm not trying to give a motherfucker any leeway. But he was like, hey, man, like, just take it easy, you know what I mean? And, you know, when he said that, I was a little bit more conscious of the effect, because, you know, Topo was a big homie, but no one likes to lose. But I'm not saying that I let Topo win or anything like that. But winning wasn't that important to me. Eventually we just wrecked. On the weekend, we'd wreck. Now from Monday to Friday in the morning, I was cool with Mike Wilson. He had the car for the BGF, Black Gorilla Family. And me and him used to go work out in the morning before, because in the morning, they pop the door at 6 o'clock. And they call a rec move. So if you go to rec, you don't get to go to breakfast. So I never went to breakfast. We go out to the gym or go out to the yard, and we go out and do our little workout every morning. Then on Sunday, I got cool with a dude named Flea. He was the general for Vice Lord. I hooked up with him through the homie Billy Leon out here from Utah. You know, Billy, he's a very charismatic dude, and a lot of people took a liking to him, and he was on the yard before me. So a lot of the people that I end up being cool with and building a relationship with was through him, because he was already there before, and he introduced me to them. And then through the course of time, I earned my own respect I earned my respect out of the way I conducted myself. So on Sunday, we used to go work out with Flea, you know, doing legs. So, you know, when you're moving around, people are able to see who you associate with. And I became one of them dudes that that, one, I don't ever cause anybody any issues. I don't go around disrespecting anybody. When I make a deal with somebody, I keep to whatever I agree to. So as far as my conduct was concerned, I did my part. But at the same time, I'm by myself. So that's not in itself just because I'm a person of integrity, just because I conduct myself in a respectful way, doesn't mean everybody and anybody's gonna always respect that. There's always somebody out there that's waiting in the wing trying to find himself a victim, something easy, a mark. But for me, people on the yard were able to recognize that I affiliate myself, I have a relationship with thorough ass dudes on the compound. But again, I never did anything to cause anybody to come my way anyway. But so I never had any issues. But a lot of other people had, you know. But for this episode, it's not really about me. It's just about, even though we're in prison, even though we got life sentences, even though we're locked down, we still have responsibilities. Like, I don't have any kids. So when I got locked up, I only had one person to look out for, and that was myself. But the people around me, they have kids. You know, so they're hustling to feed their kids, to take care of their family. My homeboy Rudy, he got a son. He did 20-something years in the feds. He's in Texas prison right now on a 40-year bid. But through the course of his bid, he was still a good father. He always made sure that his kid was taken care of. He hustled to take care of his family. You know, at a period of time, I had complaints about the prices. You know, when I come, you know, because I run a gambling table, I hustle in dice, I hustle in different avenues and stuff. But the prices that I met, they never gamble. They didn't, you know, maybe one or two of them. But, you know, there's 300 or 400 of them on the yard, and there's only a handful of them that would gamble and play dice and, you know, sold drugs or whatever. But the rest of them are hustling. They're hustling selling soda. They're hustling selling candy bars. They're hustling, you know, cleaning people's cells, doing people's laundry, making cards, birthday cards, like everything under the sun, these guys are doing. And I remember making a complaint to my wife one time that, man, I really don't like these dudes because all they do is suck up the money and they never put it back into the economy. Because, you know, I hustle on the poker table. I make money off the poker table, but I turn around and go buy dope with it. Or I turn around and go buy food with it, you know. But anything I ever had to sell or to hustle, no paisa ever bought it from me. You know, no paisa ever came and played at my poker table outside of one or two. They didn't come gamble on my dice game, but they always trying to sell something to me, you know? And I was like, yeah, these guys are hindered on the economy because all they're doing is sucking up all the money off the yard and sending it home. But at the time, again, I didn't realize what they were doing. You know, these dudes are crossing the border. They're risking their life and limb to come over to our country to make a living so they can still take care of their family that's back home. And they get caught up and now they're in the penitentiary. But being in the penitentiary didn't stop them from taking care of their responsibility. You know, I had a conversation with, he's from El Salvador. Now, I would say he's paisa. He's like, and you know, I think, you know, we get into the mentality that all these paisas are Mexicans, but they're not. Yeah, they're from Southern California. I mean, not Southern California, but they're from, you know, South America, but they're all from different countries. Guatemala, Sinaloa, El Salvador, and all the rest. But when they come in, they ride under the umbrella of Paisa. So meaning, we call him Pacalolo, but I don't know his real name. His Mexican name is Macheta, or something like that. But we ended up calling him Pacalolo. He was like we gave him kind of like an honorary pass Islander packer. He fucked with us real tough. And through the conversation with him, I'm like, damn, homie, you don't gamble, you don't do nothing. He's like, you don't do shit, but you always want to sell me something. He's like, Mesa, I have a wife and kids back in El Salvador. He goes, I come here to work. But he got caught up, I didn't go into his case, but now he's doing whatever, 10, 15 years in prison. But he has kids and wives. He has wife and kids down in South America. And he's hustling his ass off every single day to make money to send it home. And when I mean he's hustling his ass off, he's not in the drug trade. He's every move, he's carrying out 50 to 100 sodas to the yard. He's running people back and forth to grab ice to keep the sodas cool. And he's selling these sodas at 3 stamps at a time. He's making his money 3 stamps at a time throughout the course of the day, throughout the course of the week. When you come into Atwater, when you enter yard 3, there's a sidewalk strip. And when you get in there, it looks like the flea market. All the places got their blankets set out. They got picture frames. They got little them little kid booties, the shoes that they made out of chip bags. You know, they turn the chip bag inside out so only the foil side shows. They twist it up, put them together, sew it up, and you got picture frames, flowers. Like, these dudes are hustling from the bottom. And they're out there every day. And they're doing that to take care of their family at home. You know, we hear on the news all the time that we hear about the immigration problems. By no means. I'm sure there's a bunch of criminals that's crossing the borders. There's gangsters that's crossing the border. And all the rest. Drug dealers, cartel members, and all the rest. But the majority of these people that's crossing the border, homie, they're coming over here trying to find a better life. They're not coming over here cheap. They're having to pay the cartel members or people, or if you're coming from China, what they call the snakeheads, down here through the southern border is the cartel members. If you're coming from China, you're paying between $65,000 to $100,000 American dollar to come here to this country. And these people that bring you over to this country, no, you don't have papers. No, you don't have a social security card. No, that you're not a citizen. So they know you can't go to the police. So when they're here, they're extorting you. They're putting you in their sweatshop. They're taxing you because of the neighborhood you live in. When you try to open up a restaurant and business, they're coming over there and extorting you. You know, I have an issue with people extorting their own people. You know, when I was growing up, mind you, I thought that shit was cool. I even thought about doing the same shit here at home. Going to all the different Asian businesses and stuff and pushing my weight. But when I got to prison and I seen these people that's in prison that is working hard, and I got into the more details of how it works, you know, it comes out like they're extorting their own people. The Italian mob. They bring these people from Italy. They put them up in pizza shops and this and that and whatever, and they're taxing them. You know, these people that come to this country, they're looking for a better life, homie. And, you know, being the person that I am, going through the evolution that I've gone through, I don't agree with that anymore. I mean, I've never done it. I've never had the clout or the means to do it anyway. But yeah, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with taking advantage of these immigrants and these refugees because they can't go to the bank to get a loan, because they can't call the authorities on people that come and fuck them up, that violate their wives and their kids. You know, they're handcuffing. These cartel members and these organized crimes understand that, and they're extorting their own people. You know, a lot of these dudes, you have to understand the journey to get to America. I had my friend Hugh. He was Chinese. He came here in the early 90s, late 80s. They were on a freaking ship for like almost 3 months. And when they were getting to the point where they were docking in New York, the ship ran out of gas. They've been starving for the last 2 weeks. They're eating freaking rodents on the ship. And when when the snakehead pulled up coming to the shore of New York, they seen the Coast Guard, that they were about to come and get him. And he tried to turn the ship around, because, you know, they got food for them, for their gang members, for the people that are part of the organized crime. But for the people that they're shipping over to America, they've been starving for the last 2 weeks. When the Coast Guard was coming, he tried to turn the captain tried to turn his ship and head back out to sea. But the people rioted and went over there and snatched them up and held them at knife point and said, nah, we're going to get arrested, because they don't want to die at sea. They're going to take their chances over here in America. There's a lot of people that's in prison just for illegal entry. The first time you cross the border, they might just deport you. But the second time you come back, it's an automatic 5 years. The third time you come back, it's 10 years. And it doubles every single time. We're giving people time, prison. Listen, I have a lot of issue with the federal criminal system. But you're locking people up in jail for 10 to 15 years just for crossing the border. Let's think about that for a minute. Yeah, we can argue that there's gang members that come across, that there's sex offenders that come across, that there's drug dealers that come across. We could argue that all day, and you can find specific cases that points that out to defend your side of the issue. But 80-90% of these people that cross the border, they're trying to provide a life for their family, a better life for their family. Some of them come over here by themselves, leaving their family behind, not knowing that they're going to ever see their family again, so they can work their ass off, scrubbing toilets and mopping after other people, cleaning after all these other people for crumbs. Because a lot of us Americans that have been living here, that come to the point where now we're entitled and privileged that a lot of these jobs are beneath us that we don't want to do. So these immigrants and these refugees take at that job. But then at the same breath, they cry that these people are taking these jobs. Well, the job that these people are taking were jobs you didn't want to do in the first place. And then the other argument is that, oh, they don't pay taxes, they don't contribute to the economy. How the fuck don't they get paid taxes? Okay, they might get paid under the table at whatever construction site at cleaning somebody's houses. But when they go buy groceries, they get the sales tax, food tax. When they go get gas, they pay tax. When they want to go take their kids, their family out to a restaurant, they're paying tax. Every aspect of your life is tax. So the argument that these people don't contribute to the economy is a lie. It's bullshit. Because as you know, living your life right now, every freaking thing you do is tax. Look how high our gas price is. Look how high our food price is. You think because they're immigrants or refugees that they're buying all these things in the black market? You think there's a freaking black market grocery store that you can go into and don't have to pay tax? You think you can buy a freaking roll of toilet paper without having to pay tax? Everything you need in life, all the necessities you need in life is taxed by the government. And it only keeps getting bigger and bigger, the taxes. You know, I'm invested in this as far as like, I lived this. My parents, when they first came to the country, they did the jobs that other people didn't want to do. Cleaning people's toilet, cleaning up their house, picking up after other people's kids. And you don't think we paid taxes? We still went to the grocery store. We still had to buy clothes at Macy's or at the DI. Was it Desert Industry?
Deseret.
Oh, Deseret. It's like a thrift store. But they still get taxed. Everywhere you go, you get taxed. So the argument that these people don't contribute to the economy, again, is bullshit. But getting to know my friend, getting to know these different vices that was in there, I developed a new respect for them. These guys left their family back home, risked their life, taking the journey that it takes to get to America, and now they're in prison for illegal entry. But they're still hustling. They're still doing anything and everything they do to be able to send money home. And a lot of the hustles they do, even us being in prison, we feel like above it. Like me, I'm not cleaning nobody's cell to get a few for fucking 5 stamps, 10 stamps. Think about that. These are 5, 10 stamps, which is $1, $2. I'm not doing somebody's laundry for $1 or $2. Yeah, because I fall right in that category that I feel entitled and privileged that I'm above these occupations. But these spices that come in, they're doing that. They're doing the hard work and they're saving their money and they're not spending it on drugs. They're not spending it on the new kicks. You got a lot of people in prison that are still keeping up with the Jones. When the new kicks come out, they want to be the first one to buy it. When the G-Shocks is in the commissary, they want to be the first one to buy it. And if they don't sell G-Shocks on that yard and somebody come off the bus with it, they're trying to offer that dude 2 or 3 times the value. Because you can't sell, commissary can't sell you anything that's worth more than $100. So the G-Shock from commissary is $100. But since they don't sell it at this particular prison, they're offering $300-400 to somebody else so they can have it to wear it, so they can run around and show off that they got it. I mean, that's their prerogative. I don't have no issue with that. My thing is that, my point is here is just that you have a lot of these people that are locked up just for illegal entry, and they're grinding their way, doing the jobs that people didn't want to do in prison or out here on the street just to take care of their family. And for that, understanding that, I have a new profound respect for those people that are incarcerated, that even though they know they got a life sentence, that are never ever coming home. Those that got decades, knowing they got to sit there for however long. They're still working their ass off, still grinding away to help put food and a roof over for their family. And to those people, man, much love and respect. Welcome to the USP.